So, after a long off season, I finally just want to come back here on YouTube and just give my thoughts real quick of the upcoming season for the Packers. Before anybody says anything, yes, I am a Packers fan. I can assure you that I am, even though I may not look it, but I am. Um, and real quick, I want to say something else also. The reason why I didn't make any videos whatsoever is because, one, there was no point, and two, everybody knows the NFL season, NFL off season is a long off season. And really, see, this is something I've done for a long time. When the NFL season is over, that's it. I don't want to pay any attention to football, not the Packers, not anybody. I don't want to pay pay any attention to it. Damn, messing up my words. But anyway, I don't want to pay any attention to it. Why? Because it just makes it harder to wait for the next season to start. You know, when you're looking at updates and news and who your team let go, who your team drafted, you know, who may have picked up in free agency, even though that's not how it is with us, and all that other, all that other shit, and it just makes you like, oh man, I can't wait till the new season starts and blah blah blah, and it just makes you impatient, and it's just that's the kind of thing I don't want to go through. I don't like going through that every year. And so what I do is I just stay away from football. I don't pay attention to it. I don't do anything. I just make sure I just catch up on everything once the preseason and training camp starts and everything. And then that's when, I'm back in my football mode and I'm watching and everything else. So that's the little thing that I like to do. Because, the off season is just so long and you just, that's how football is. But anyway, as far as the Packers goes, what I think can happen this season is are the Packers still a threat? That's the thing that you want to question right now. Are we still a threat? I don't really think we are. I mean, so long as Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback, there's things we're capable of doing. There are a lot of things we're capable of doing, but as far as it being a real big threat going far in the playoffs, I don't see it. I just don't see it. And I wrote some things down because I know I'm gonna end up forgetting. So I just wrote them down real quick. And there weren't too many changes with the team this off season. I mean, guys like Donald Driver retired. I did watch that retirement. D Drive left. We let go Charles Woodson. We let go Greg. We didn't re-sign Serge Benson or Ryan Grant, so the hell with that. And some other guys that we let go, like Frank Zombo. Thank God we let that guy go. I mean, that guy was just, every time you turn around, that guy was hurt. And I just don't know how he even managed to be on the team as long as he did. We let go Tom Crabtree, which personally I wish he could have stayed with the team. That's just my own opinion. And of course, Greg went and signed with the Vikings, and that's just like the Vikings. They always want to pick up. Hold up. I just love it when these police cars always drive by. I just love it. Anyway, of course, Greg goes and signs with the Vikings. Like, that was really a big surprise. That's always the case. Vikings always wants to pick up our leftover trash. We let go Desmond Bishop, which really surprised me. You let go one of our best linebackers we had in a couple of years. I don't know why the Packers did that. I really don't understand that release. Yeah, the guy got hurt last year, but what can you do? Come on, you keep somebody like Frank Zombo around for so long. How can you not let Desmond Bishop at least try to make a comeback? And of course, he goes and signs with the Vikings as well. So that's another bump. That's another big hit. Anyway, since Greg gets signed with the Vikings, he's been running his mouth a lot about Aaron. And as far as I'm concerned, Greg can just go and shove it and just shut the hell up and just worry about his new team now. It's just like, do all that trash talking when we about to fight each other. Not fight, face. And but whatever. I'm not even worried about that. But I do know that going into the season, I have a lot of concerns, and one of those concerns is the O-line. Is the O-line looking better this year? No. It's because right away Brian Bulaga went down. And you know what? That didn't even surprise me, because we have one of the most injury-prone teams in this fucking NFL. It never fails that somebody key is getting hurt on this team, especially on defense. But right now, we suffered a big loss on offense and on the O-line at that. And it's just like, okay, so Brian Bulaga is out for the season. It makes our offensive line look very weak, as much as it does already. So, is Aaron just going to spend another season running for his life? I mean, that's pretty much the case. Aaron isn't the most sacked quarterback since he's been starting for us for no reason. We just cannot build a good line behind in front of Aaron Rodgers, and he's constantly getting pressure and sacked all the freaking times. And you know Aaron Rodgers is a stud. A lot of times he gets away from a lot of those pressures and makes plays, but still, protecting your star quarterback is one of the main things you must always be doing. If we can't protect Aaron, how much of a threat is our passing game going to be? Because that's all we have is a passing game. We don't have no running game. Yeah, we drafted that guy Eddie Lacy. We're just going to have to see what he does. But we let go again Ryan Grant, Cedric Benson. Alex Green is gone, you know, from the cuts. And then all we have left is, you know, Eddie Lacy, DeJuan Harris. He goes on injury reserve. He gets injured. So who's there left besides Eddie Lacy? And what? So who we gonna rely on? James Starks? Why this guy is still on the team, I have no idea. But you got that. So you got not only problems with us being able to protect Aaron, but we also got problems and concerns of how good our running game is going to be. Is it going to be good this year? And there goes the damn police cars again. I tell you, police cars run amok around here. Anyway, the next thing I want to mention is the wide receivers. You know, most of the wide receivers still here. Again, Donald is gone, Greg is gone, and even though I said what I said about Greg earlier, all the same, losing Greg is a big blow. He was a huge part of our passing game, and with Greg gone, that makes our wide receivers, you know, our passing game a little bit less dangerous now. I don't think teams are going to be really fearing our passing attack too much. I mean, they might still do, just because of who our quarterback is. You can't forget that. Who our quarterback is, there's still going to be a passing game there, definitely. But, you know, so who's going to be that next wide receiver to step up? Jared Boykin? If the guy can stay healthy, maybe he can be that fourth wide receiver. You know, and you know, not James Jones, but Jordan Nelson and Randall Cobb, those both of them, they was injured throughout training camp. But looks like they're coming back and gonna be back in time for week 1. And so you got that, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just why I just hope the wide receivers all can, you know, definitely be on their game this season, definitely. And when you got outside receivers like James Jones and Jordy Nelson, who pretty much are the deep threats that we have, Aaron Rodgers is going to be passing the ball to Randall Cobb a lot, because it's not going to surprise me a team scheme to take those two out of the picture very easily, since they do struggle to get open. Excuse me. The next concern is defense. Is this defense going to be better? I believe this defense can be better, but I don't think it's going to be that great at the same time. Because one, we drafted a guy named, what's his name, Dante Jones. Is he going to be the next guy that's going to finally give us a pass rush besides Clay? Because as far as I'm concerned, this defense ain't shit so long as teams can scheme around Clay Matthews and take him out of the game. Take Clay Matthews out, there's no pass rush. Quarterbacks can sit there and have a snack. Because ain't nobody else on this D-line going to create any pressure. B.J. Raji? No. Harley. Ryan Pickett? No. I see we signed Johnny Jolly again. Johnny Jolly. But anyway, ain't nobody on this line is pass rushing the quarterback except Clay. And hopefully, if this guy, once again, if Nick Perry can stay healthy, maybe he can help out. Hopefully. Along with Dante Jones. I want to see what all three of these guys can do if they're all on the field together. You know, if they can, who knows? We can generate probably a good pass rush. You never know. You never know. Also on defense, the defensive backs and everybody, they still look pretty much the same. Tramon Williams is still around, which he's another guy who I'm surprised still has a job, along with Jermichael Finley. I'm surprised those two still have a job here. You know, like I said in my last video, and this was months ago when we lost the 49ers, Tramon Williams hasn't been the same since our Super Bowl year. The guy hasn't done shit. And as far as I'm concerned, if he still doesn't do anything this year, it's time for him to go. Same thing with Philly. I personally wouldn't have minded if the Packers let him go off this off season, but he's still with us. He's still our starting tight end, and hopefully this guy can get his ass together and stop dropping so many goddamn passes. Okay? That's the main thing. That's the problem with this guy. He just drops too many goddamn balls. So that's my overall summary of that right there. Overall, this season can be a very shaky one and an up and down with the Packers, because last year we were very inconsistent. You know, one minute we look good in certain areas, and next minute we look like shit. And that can be the same thing with this season. You know, we can have a good season all we want, and then we'll get to the playoffs and we'll just get exposed. And that's what's happened the last 2 years. You know, we got our asses kicked by the Giants, then we get our asses kicked by the 49ers. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just going to happen. We might as well not even make the playoffs. But I do believe that we still can win a division. I mean, I'm not saying that the other teams aren't a threat, but there's no doubt in my mind that we can still win the division all the same. But as far as we're going far in the playoffs and doing things, I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening at all. If we do make the playoffs, we'll most likely get kicked out in the first round. So you got that. Oh yeah, and another thing, just before I forget, another guy I'm surprised still has a job is Mason Crosby. He's another guy who I wanted to see get left, but you know what? I'm willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. So far, he looks okay. He looked like shit on Family Night. But if the Packers want to keep this guy around, this guy better make those kicks. He better make those kicks. I'm going to be trashing him as much as I did last season. He better be making those kicks. Man. The last thing I want to do is be complaining about a kicker. But you know what? A kicker is just as part of the team as everything else. And I don't want to see points left off the board because this guy's missing kicks that he should be making. Okay? And finally, the last thing I want to say is, when I was just saying about as far as protecting Aaron Rodgers, what happens if Aaron goes down? That is another big concern. What happens if this man goes down? Who is going to back him up? Who? B.J. Coleman? Yeah, right. Graham Harrell, thank goodness we let that guy go. That guy was some cut. There was no way I was going to be confident going into the season with him backing us up. You know, we signed Vince Young, and looked like maybe he was on his way to backing Aaron Rodgers up, but then we go and let him go. So basically, we're left with just one quarterback, and we have nobody backing him up that we can be confident in. So you got that. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and we're going into the season with nobody backing him up. Come on, man. Stop it. Bring in somebody, please. Because it'd be a scary thing if Aaron goes down. And I'm not trying to jinx our season whatsoever, but it'll be a scary, scary thing if Aaron goes down. Our season is done. This team isn't nothing without Aaron Rodgers behind center, period. And if he goes down, who the hell is going to come in and back him up? Who? And that's it. I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, we got the 49ers next week, and it's just like, these guys have owned us the last 2 times that we played them. Just completely owned us. And it won't surprise me if they own us again. Once again, playing on the first game of the year. And that's it. I'm out. Peace.